The assessment of Liverpool's first season was overshadowed by Paris Saint-Germain's stratospheric season. But I remain impressed by the swift takeover by the Dutch manager, who came in to succeed the legendary Klopp and who, from the moment he arrived, managed to dethrone the Manchester City juggernaut that had swept up everything over the past 4 years. In fact, it's the only team that managed to take the Parisian machine to penalties during the second leg of the round of 16 at Anfield. We invite you to analyze a training session led by the Dutch coach and try to understand what sets him apart from other top European managers. The Reds begin their training with a playful pre-activation exercise on a small pitch, about 15 by 15 meters. 19 players compete in an individual contest. Each player tucks a bib into the back of their shorts as a tail. The game is simple. Try to grab as many bibs as possible to win the round, and if someone takes yours, you stop playing. This warm-up is interesting because of its playful aspect, as well as for working on quick footwork and changes of direction. If, like Slot, you decide to use this game at the very start of the session, we recommend paying close attention to the size of the playing area, because if the pitch is too large, this game can be very demanding physically and could be dangerous if you use it right at the start of the warm-up. After 3 repetitions of around 45 seconds, the warm-up continues with some athletic drills in a circle, followed by work on starting and footwork, including a light duel where the player has to hit a pad with their upper body. In the second part of the session, the Reds coaches split the group in 2. The first group, mostly midfielders, works on a drill focused on playing between the lines and using the third man. Slot oversees this group with an assistant who provides the ball. On a pitch 25 meters by 15 set up from the penalty area to halfway line, 6 attackers face 4 defenders. Pitch divided 3 zones. Attackers are in the first 2 zones organized in 2-2-2. Defenders in on 2-1. The final zone is empty at the start of the drill. There is no offside. The attackers aim to score in the 2 goals placed on the halfway line. For the defenders, they must win back the ball and score in the goal positioned on the edge of the penalty area within 5 seconds. That counts for 2 points. The coaching staff mainly focus on the 6 attackers and their ability to find players between the lines. There are 2 recognized ways to achieve this. The first is to find the highest player up the pitch with a diagonal pass so that he is facing the play. The second option being worked on here is to find a third man facing the play after playing with a supporting player. This sequence repeats often, and you sense the Dutch coach wants automatisms between his midfielders. Above all, the anticipation of the third man and his ability to get into the right area to receive the ball facing the goal. In the best sequences, the Reds repeat this pattern across all lines between the opposition. To get closer to reality, the situation evolves with the introduction of a 5th defender. They switch to a 2-2-1 formation to pack the center and make things harder for the attackers. This situation, very characteristic of positional play, reflects Slot's desire to develop Liverpool's game for better control over the tempo. The key pedagogical points will be the centre-back's ability to see the bigger picture and the concept of third-man anticipation, positioning themselves to face the play at the moment of the layoff pass. At the same time, the attackers are working on analytical finishing. The objective of this exercise is to review the preferential animations around the surface. Slot's assistant sets up several small passing networks, which Liverpool players repeat 3 to 4 times on each side. Next, they move to adaptive work, where players themselves decide which pattern to use. This approach is interesting because players are less robotic and must stay alert to make the right movement based on the player with the ball. During this exercise, the following passing patterns can be seen: a 1-2 after a feint run, overlapping run, overlap after layoff with centre forward, attack in half space box to box midfielder, switching play to the opposite side after combining in the centre. This last pattern involves all players present. It is the one used most often in the adaptive phase. Look here at how the Reds work on overlapping runs. They alternate between the classic overlap and switching play. The ball carrier, by drawing the defender, decides whether to slip the ball to the overlapping player or combine in the centre to switch play. In terms of movement, there is a high level of discipline from Slot's assistant, who will stop the drill if a movement does not meet his standards. Take this example where he stopped the 1-2 because timing of the run and counter-run is not right. Discipline is constant. The coaches do not just focus on movement around the ball carrier, they are also attentive to space in the penalty area. The black markers define the zones to be occupied at the cross. The central area is left free to let the centre forward move into it as he wishes. The far post must always be occupied by the opposite winger, and you can see the instruction is to stay back. In this sequence, the coach shows his dissatisfaction. The winger did not follow up the move, leaving the area empty. The second black marker is there solely to mark out a gap in which you should play to find the wide player making a run. At the end of the training session, Slot sets up a scenario with unlimited transitions, 10 against 10, on a pitch of about 60 by 50 meters. The greens have to attack the goal and are organized in a 4-3-3 formation, while the oranges must win the ball back and attack the 3-minute goals in a system with a goalkeeper in a 3-2-3-1. So they have one outfield player less. Each time the ball goes out, Slot restarts play with the greens. On the pitch, you see a line of cones about 25 meters from the main goal. This line marks where the orange defenders, at the start of each sequence, must position themselves. The aim is to create a compact opposing block, but still leave enough space behind to attack, allowing a chance to find a player making a run with a short pass. The oranges can defend in the deeper area as the play continues, but they are not allowed to drop deep straight away at the start of the sequence. The objective of this endgame exercise is to apply the work done in the scenario led by Slot in a game situation that closely resembles an actual match. Slot focuses on the green team, asking them to set up with 2 defensive midfielders who will act as anchors and then as the third man during the passing phase. He asks the central defenders to look further ahead and to seize any opportunity as soon as a line-breaking pass presents itself. He is present, guiding the play between each action, and will step onto the pitch to demonstrate his expectations and move the players. The secondary objective is to reproduce the finishing patterns worked on in the previous exercise. That's sometimes the case, as here, with play drawn to the left before switching to the right and a finish from Salah, who had come inside to receive the ball.